Namaste. Greetings for International Yoga Day. That is on 21st June 2020. We are celebrating International Yoga Day. Unfortunately, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we are not able to celebrate it in person. So most of the countries are celebrating it virtually. I thank the Yogathon of the New Zealand for inviting me to deliver a talk, not a talk, but share my experiences on yoga and health and disease. First, I would like to talk about the health. Health, what people think is a mere absence of disease. Mere absence of disease is not the health. Health conventionally is defined by World Health Organization that it is defined as physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being of an individual. Now, if you follow this definition in real sense, hardly anybody would be healthy, because majority of us, they are suffering from one or other, maybe the physical diseases, maybe the mental illnesses, maybe the social problems, and maybe the spiritual ones. So if you go by this definition, hardly anybody would be healthy, or very few would be healthy, especially the youngsters. So another yardstick of health is also taken as life expectancy. You know, in last 40 to 50 years, we have doubled our life expectancy. I am talking for the New Zealand people. So for New Zealand, the life expectancy for New Zealand is around 78, 79 years. Little more for the females and less for the males. In India, today we have life expectancy is around 68, 69 years. But if you see that, although our modern system of medicine has been able to increase the longevity, but I used to say this is not a very fruitful longevity. Longevity is full of disease. Everybody is popping many tablets, many drugs he is taking. So this longevity ideally should be disease free. Actual longevity we should make that how many people are disease free. That is why the other organizations now trying to define the health differently. And how they are trying to define? They are trying to define that health is a state of mind which you are enthusiastic to work. You have enthusiasm to work. You get up in the morning, that you will go to do the job, or because that you have to do a job, but you have inner urge from your inner core that yes, I have enthusiasm to work. It is irrespective of disease. You may have hypertension, may have diabetes, may have heart problem, may have lung problem, but still, if you have enthusiasm to work, I personally feel that you are healthy. You should have enthusiasm to passionate working, passionately help others. That is actually the real definition of health. So you know that you should be making people healthy. Now let me talk something about yoga. You know, yoga is a very ancient science, ancient practice. People are practicing it. Our yogis, our gurus are practicing it for thousands of years. And everybody knows word yoga means to connect or to unite. Conventionally, the Yoga Sutra of Maharshi Patanjali refers to the 8 limbs of yoga, and each of which offers guidelines. I am underlining, each of 8 limbs offer guidelines on how to live meaningful and purposeful life. That's the ultimate aim of yoga. And you know, the 8 limbs of yoga, they consist of yam. Yam means refer to disciplined practices that are primarily concerned with the word and our interaction with the word. Niyams there are positive rules you have to follow, that you have to be honest, you have to be truthful. Then it consists of asanas. Another 3rd limb is asanas. Asanas means yogic posture, mild exercises. Then pratyahara. Pratyahara means you should have withdrawal of your senses during yogic practices. Then 5th is dharana. It is related to the focused concentration. In many of the yogic practices, you do this. Then dhyan, meditation. It is the 7th component. And finally, if you do, our yogis and gurus, they used to go into the samadhi, that is enlightenment. So these are the conventional 8 limb of yogic practices. But as I define it very simply, as people, what is in people's mind? Everybody cannot go up to samadhi. So what peoples are doing now, roughly you know about 2 billion people are practicing yoga. Thanks to India, thanks to our Prime Minister, Sri Modi ji, that yoga has become an international phenomenon. And as I said, around 2 billion people have already practicing yoga, and I believe more and more people will practice yoga in near future. And yoga, to me, in a simple word, for a common man, it is a discipline. It makes you disciplined, because you have to do yoga daily. You have to wake up early in the morning. Unless you are disciplined, unless you go to bed early in the night, you will not able to wake up early morning. So it makes you disciplined, and it is actually it gives you how to lead a real life. ये जीवन जीने की एक कला है, योगा हर एक को सिखाता है. And it is for common man. If you forget those 8 limbs, although all the limbs are very important, like I said, niyam, yam and niyam, they talk about how you should live, what you should eat, how you should behave with others. You should clean yourself. So that is also a very essential step. But yoga for a common man, what is consists of asanas, means mild exercises, consists of pranayams, means breathing exercises, and consists of dhyan, that is meditation. So these are the three main components what people feel, common people feel about yoga. You know that I am not a, if I ask me very honestly, let me confess that I have no formal degrees in yoga. But my only experience is that I am practicing yoga for last 30 years regularly. As people are addicted to alcohol, smoking, now you can say that I am addicted to yoga. So whatever I have, and one thing more, initial years I did it under very able yoga instructor. It is very important. Unless you learn it properly, you will be not able to do it properly. And if you do it properly, now I do it without any instructor because now I have learned it. So what I have experienced in 30 years as far as health is concerned, I am going to share with you. First thing, a very blanket statement I would like to make, that it makes you healthy. I have already defined you healthy. If you have enthusiasm to work, you have to enthusiasm to work passionately, help others passionately. It comes from yoga. It increases, it makes you smart. You know, the tobacco companies, they advertise smoking to the, especially to the younger people, younger men and women, that smoking makes you smart. That's why people do smoke. But I say yoga makes you smart. That's very clear. It increases your stamina. What you desire for a good work, good efficient work, you need a stamina. It increases your concentration. That is also desired for a good work, for efficient work. It increases your work efficiency. It makes your body active. It calms your mind. That is what is required for a good health. What I believe. It slows down your aging process. Definitely it slows down. If you see the yogis, you see our ancient yogis, they lived for 100 years and they never looked old because they were practicing yoga regularly. So these are the benefits of doing yoga. It makes you healthy and it increases your memory. Many things I have experienced. It reminds your forgotten things. I was director in Vallabhbhai, one of the premier institute at Delhi, Vallabhbhai Patel Chess Institute. I used to do yoga there regularly under the guidance of somebody who was trained with a very able yogi. And during my yogic practices, in the last he used to tell me that you go into the Savasana, means you take rest, you remove all your worries. But during that period I used to tell him, no, I remember something. I remember something which I have forgotten. Suppose I gave some work to some of my professors and then I remember, I gave that work about 7 days back. I would finish my yoga, go to the office, call that professor, and I said to him, I have given you some work. Oh sir, I'm sorry, I've forgotten. So it makes you an efficient administrator. So it helps in many ways. Let me talk about next 3-4 minutes about diseases. For diseases, as I have already told you, that people have lived for 100 years. People have lived without drugs. That is what is my dream is. You live without drugs. That would be the best healthy period. Various researches, although yoga needs much more research, much more controlled trials, much more meta-analysis. For meta-analysis, you need much more work, very clean work. But whatever work has been done, it is been proven to large extent that it may helpful in reducing blood pressure. It may be helpful in reducing the lipid profile. It may help in reducing the blood sugar level. It is very helpful in dealing with depression, anxiety, psychiatric illnesses like schizophrenia. It also helps in various musculoskeletal problems like lower backache, arthritis. But only thing that in these diseases, you have to undergo yogic practices under very able guidance, so that he can tell you that what yogic practices are important according to your disease. I am basically a chest physician, so many of the asthmatic peoples, many of the researches has been done in asthma and COPD. It definitely helps these people. It at least helps in improving the quality of life and reducing the quantity of the drugs. And that is very important. And sometimes if disease is very mild, you maybe get rid of these drugs. So what I am trying to say that the yoga is a complementary system. Many people believe that if you do yoga, every disease will be cured. I don't think it is like that. Yoga, you can take it as complementary from other medicines what you are taking. You have to consult your own doctor, and you have to consult some yoga instructor to define what yoga could be important for you. And then you have to not stop the drug suddenly. You can do it slowly, and if the disease become very mild, some situation you will be able to stop the drug. But what I would advise, never stop the drug suddenly, that thinking that if I start doing yoga and everything will be panacea for it. Let me talk about now COVID-19 is troubling us. Many people are affected by it. Many people have died from COVID-19. We have not been able to do this year International Yoga Day. We are doing it on virtual. But it is also said that yoga increases your immunity, and that is the only hope for COVID-19, that if your immunity is good, the viral infection may not come, and if it comes, it will be simple, it will be less complicated, and serious diseases will be prevented. So yoga in that way could be very helpful in preventing the COVID-19 and in preventing the serious complications. But a lot of studies has to be done to prove it. Now there are some initial inkling coming up that people who are regular yogic practices, doing yogic practices, there the prevalence of COVID infection is less and their seriousness is also less. So let me ultimately conclude and say that Yoga is a good for health. Yoga can be good for many diseases, but you have to take it as a complementary method of treatment, and you have to do yogic exercises initially for few years under very able guidance of some yoga instructor. Thank you very much.